Hi guys, thank you for joining my session today. This is Adobe Acrobat Pro Beyond Password Protection. The goal of today's session is to look at the advantages of the other tools that we have in Adobe Acrobat Pro, the tools that will allow you to make your PDF documents even more secure. So you don't have to limit yourself to only one security method, which is password protection. My name is Tomasz Pasierb and I'm a solution consultant at Adobe. I specialize in Adobe Document Cloud and Adobe Sign. So what we are going to do today in more detail. So first I'm gonna cover password protection. I will tell you why we should look beyond this security method. I will tell you about alternatives, and also I will go through the toolkit of Adobe Acrobat Pro and tell you which tools are security related and how to use them. I'm going to be showing you how to apply those settings on the real document, so you will learn how to use those. So we have 45 minutes of good content, but before I get started, let me go through some housekeeping items first. So first of all, in order to see the webinar content, you need to make sure that you have a Flash enabled in your browser. So if you can hear me now, but you cannot see anything, please go to the browser settings, enable Flash, hit F5, and refresh the browser content. We do advise to not connect over the VPN because VPN slows down the connection. So please try, if possible, connect over the open internet to make sure that everything displays smoothly. On the left-hand side, you should see the slide deck and some other information related to that webinar, and you can type in the questions and answers in Q&A box. I'm going to be trying to answer those questions as quickly as possible, and also at the end of this presentation, I'll be available to answer any remaining questions. Last things that I want to mention, this session has been pre-recorded. So what you are watching now is recording, but it doesn't mean that I'm not here with you. I'm here with you, logged in to this session. I'm watching myself, and I'm going to be answering that question from the Q&A section. And after this recording, I'm going to be available to answer if there are any unanswered questions left. So let me show you the slides with the agenda, and I will explain what I have prepared for today. So first, I'm going to go through some definitions. I know that most of you don't like definitions, so I'm going to keep that section brief. And then I will be talking about methods. Obviously, we will start with the password protection. I will tell you about alternative methods that will allow you to secure PDF documents better, and about other tools that are security related in Adobe Acrobat Pro Toolkit. At the end, it is scalability. I'm going to be mainly talking about automation tool that we have, because you might have thousands of the documents in your repository, and you might be thinking that going through every single document in order to apply the settings that you learned today to those might be too time consuming, too labor intensive. We have the tool that allows you to automate this process, so there is no need to worry. So let's start with answering the question, what is document security? Obviously, it is about minimizing the risk of data breach. It's about protecting the information inside of the document, but it is also about the measures that you need to take in order to prevent unauthorized alteration of the document. So why do we talking about this today? Why this is so important nowadays? So about 2 years ago, COVID has started, but before that, we used to work from the office. So we were protected. The documents were protected by the perimeter security. When you were working on this document, on any document, when you were saving this document, it was behind the perimeter security. You were protected by the firewall, data leak detection, data leak prevention, proxy server with the web filtering. You have the access policy on the server, so the admin could decide who can access which document, who can modify it, and so on. But nowadays, because of the COVID, more and more people started to work from home, or maybe they are working on the go, on the trains, in the cafeteria. So they are connecting to unsecure networks. You might be working in the cafeteria, on the train, or working from home, and you are not protected by those security appliances that you used to have in the office. There is no firewall, there is no access policy. you are left with your document on your own. So this is where we can help. We can ensure you that documents that you create will be still protected with the security policy that you apply to it. So even if this document is outside of this secure Office environment, if you save this document on your hard drive or even publish it online, save it to someone by email, allow someone to take the copy of this document will be still protected. You're going to be able to control who is allowed to open it, who is allowed to view what is inside, who is allowed to print this document in what resolution, and who is allowed to make changes to those documents as well. Protection versus security. So why this slide is in here? First of all, it's here because in Adobe Acrobat Pro we can do both. We can do protection and security. The other reason why it is in here is because many people confuse protection and security. They use these terms interchangeably. I have to admit that I'm guilty of that as well. You can see description in this slide, what is protection, what is security, what is the difference between those two. So generally speaking, protection is about protecting the something from being lost or stolen, and security is about controlling access. But I can bet that if I switch this slide to another one, and if we move forward, many of you won't be able to remember what is the difference between those two. But I've got a good method of memorizing the difference between protection and security. So if you have let's say at home a very expensive item, maybe you've got a watch as a Christmas present, very expensive watch, and if you want to protect it at home, what would you do? So most probably you would lock this item into the locker and lock it with the key, or maybe if you have safe, you would put this watch in there and just shut the door behind it. So this item is protected. The safe itself, that metal case, the locker, it's a protection environment. So you protect this item from being stolen. So how does it relate to the PDF world? In PDF, instead of the safe or locker, you can encrypt this document. So even if someone steals this document, like someone would steal the safe, they still cannot access it. They cannot, you know, it is tamper-proof. They cannot make any change to that. They cannot smash this watch or whatever they want to do with that. So what is security there? So in the same example, if we are talking about that locker and the safe, the security will be the mechanism that allows you to control, access this item inside of this safe. So it's gonna be a key. So in order to open the lock, you need to put the key into the keyhole, turn it, and unlock it. So the key is a security. If you are talking about safe might have the keypad on which you need to type the PIN number. So that keypad and the PIN number is a security. Again, how does it relate to the PDF world? So if you encrypt this document with the encryption, with the security algorithm, in order to unlock it, you will need to use the key as well. The key in the form of the private key. So it is very similar to the real life scenario. Protection gonna be the environment, the safe, the metal box, or in the PDF world encapsulated in the encryption, and the security will be the method that you use to access it. So it's either key to unlock the locker or key to decrypt the document that is secure with the certificate. So I believe that any organization needs a solution that is scalable. So if your organization grows, if you have more and more employees, you want them to have access to the PDF solution. And obviously, we as a cloud-based solution, we are fully scalable. And most probably, you have invested in some other software platform already. So it would be nice to have the solution that can be integrated with those platforms. It can be Microsoft Office 365, it can be Salesforce, Workday, SIP. The list of the integrations that we support is very, very long. So if you are used to those applications and you don't want to switch to the PDF standalone, it's not a problem. You can integrate PDF into it and just switch to the PDF where there is a need to do so. For instance, when you want to use the feature that is available in PDF. And lastly, it is good to have the automation capabilities built in your PDF solution, because if you are talking about security, you might start to implement security from now on. But maybe you've been on the market for 10 years and you might have 1,000 or 10,000 of the documents in your possession. So how would you apply the security to those documents? You wouldn't, most probably, if you didn't have the automation tool. And in Adobe Acrobat Pro, we do have automation tool that allows you to run the security or any other settings on the collection of the PDF documents all at once. In Adobe Acrobat Pro, we have three types of security. We have content security, we have application security, and we have the implementation security. Under the umbrella of the content security, obviously, we have the password protection, but also we have the certificate protection, certificate that can be used to encrypt document. We have the reduction tool, because this is also security tool, and we have the concept of the security envelope. So actually, in that webinar, I'm gonna skip this one, but just to briefly explain what is the security envelope. So if you look at the PDF documents, PDF is like a container, and into this container you can put some other formats, maybe video, maybe Word document, and many others, and you can secure those other formats with the PDF security that is available in Adobe Acrobat Pro. So you can kind of piggyback some other documents to take advantage of the PDF Acrobat Pro security. We have also application security. Application security is for protecting you against the threats that can be smuggled inside of the PDF, because we receive many PDFs by email, or you can copy an email, you can copy a PDF from someone else as well. So because, as I mentioned already, PDF is like a container that can store some other formats, such as audio, video, forms, interactive content, JavaScript as well. So because PDF is like container, it can be used to smuggle some malicious code on your laptop. And for that, we have the protected view and enhanced security that protects you against that. And then we have the implementation, because most probably you have already invested in some security platform already. Maybe it is Microsoft, so why wouldn't you leverage Microsoft information protection to protect your documents as well? So let's start with password security. So before I tell you about disadvantages of the password security, let me briefly explain what you can do with the password security, and I will show you also how to apply those security settings. So we have document open password. So you can decide who is allowed to open document. Obviously, it's going to be only the person with the password. And also with the password, you can regulate what this person is allowed to do with this document, whether this person is allowed to edit this document, print it, and make any changes, copy the content, and so on. So this is what you can do with a password security. So let me actually quickly show on the example how you can apply password security. So I'm going to open some PDF documents that I have prepared for today. Okay, so here I have a PDF document, and if you are Adobe Acrobat Pro user, you might know that there are usually 2 or 3 ways of getting what you want to get from the PDF. So here is that document. This is a sample document, and I'm going to be protecting this document with the password. So if you are familiar with Adobe Acrobat Pro, you might know that there are usually several ways of getting what you want to do with the PDF document. So in order to apply the security, you can either search for the tool that you want to use in here on the right-hand side. Like you see, you have some of the tools displays. So if I want to secure this document with the password, but I don't know the name of the tool, I can just simply type in here password. And here I have the options. I can encrypt and encrypt with password. Or if I want, I can right click on this document, go to the document properties, and under the security tab, I will have the choice to select the security method that I want to use. I can use the password security and some others ones as well. The third method is by going to the tools. So this is basically the same thing that you have in here. If I go to tools, all the tools will be displayed. I can just search in here the tool that I might think it is relevant for that task. So it is protect, but also I can just search in here. Same, I can just type in here password, and I will have protect and encrypt again, and the option to encrypt with password to choose from. So it doesn't really matter which way you use to get to this place, you will be applying the same password. So I'm going to click on encrypt with password. I'm going to click on yes. And here we have document open password, required password to open this document. So I'm going to type in here password. Again, I'm going to just try to use something more secure. And here we have the permission password. So I can decide what is allowed to do with this document after it's been opened by the recipient. So I can allow the printing. I can switch that off, so no printing is allowed. I can allow the printing in low or high resolution. So I'm gonna leave on printing not allowed, and I can allow the changes. And here are the changes that I can allow for someone who will type in the permission password. So I will allow only commenting, filling forms, and signing existing signature fields. And here I will define the permission password. Click on OK, and I will need to retype those passwords. And permission password. And when I click on save, you will see that this document has been secured because you can see that in the brackets. So now if I close this document and reopen, it will ask me for the password. And also if I go to the documents properties, I will see that password security has been applied. So this document, whether it is on my hard drive or placed on the website, shared with someone by email, will be protected with this password. So you might think it's great, this is exactly what I need. But the problem is with the password itself. So now is the reason why I will encourage you to look beyond password protection. So by nature, password is unsecure because password is just a string of the number, letters, and special characters. So you know already quite a lot what is in there. So for that, you can use brute force method to crack it. You can download some program from the internet, and this program will try every possible combination. You will keep trying until it will find the match and unlock this document. If we are talking about password that has, let's say, 6 characters and only lower letters and some numbers, it might take literally a few seconds to break it. Also, there are some special websites on which you can upload the PDF document, and this website will break the password for you for the PDF password protected document. Most probably they're gonna steal your data at the same time, but there's an option like that as well. I wouldn't use it personally, but it is something that actually shows you how insecure password protection can be. Also, we as humans are quite lazy, so we can store the password in the plain text on the hard drive. We can use the same password for multiple accounts. So if one of the accounts is compromised, then attacker can use the same password for your other accounts. So that's a huge risk. And even if attacker is not a very tech-savvy person, there are still ways of retrieving the password from the person who secured the document. And this method is called social engineering. So if the person that is trying to guess the password, if that person asks the right probing question, most probably they're going to be able to work out what kind of password, what is exactly the password that you use. And to prove that, let me actually play a short video that depicts that very well.
Today, we sent a camera out on a Hollywood Boulevard to help people by asking them to tell us their password. And this is how that went.
We're talking about cybersecurity today and how safe people's passwords are. What is one of your online passwords currently?
It is my dog's name and the year I graduated from high school.
Oh, what kind of dog do you have?
I have a Chihuahua Papillon.
And what's its name?
Jameson.
Jameson. And where'd you go to school?
I went to school back in Greensburg, Pennsylvania.
What school?
Hempfield Area Senior High School.
Oh, when did you graduate?
In 2009.
Oh, great.
It's like my cat's name and then just like a random number.
Okay. Have you had this cat for a while?
Yeah, she's my childhood pet.
Aw. And what's her name?
Her name is Jolie.
Jolie.
Mm-hmm.
So like a password of yours would be Jolie and then a number.
Yeah.
Like number 1?
Like my birthday.
Oh, when is your birthday?
June 12th.
Oh, nice. And what year were you born?
95.
Oh, great. So Jolie 6 1295.
Yes.
Got it.
Well, most of them are Italian.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So
like what's a good Italian password?
my grandma's name,
What's your grandma's name?
Maria.
Maria. So Maria is your password?
Oh yeah, now you know my password. Oh yeah.
So I hope that now I convince you to look beyond simple password protection. Consider an alternatives. And the obvious question is whether there is a better way. And we wouldn't have this webinar if there wasn't. So what would you choose to secure your documents? A password, represented by that keypad on the left-hand side, where you can see that worn out keys. Just have a guess how long would it take you to guess what is the combination to that safe? Or maybe you would use something that is much more secure, maybe something that relies on the concept of the private and public key. I think that some of you already knows where this is going. So an alternative to the password protection is certificate security. So you might ask a question, what is a certificate? So certificate is like a digital equivalent of your real ID. So you might have a passport or a driving license, and the certificate is a digital equivalent of those documents. So the passport entitles you to cross the border, driving license allows you to drive the car, and the digital certificate allows you to, depends what type of certificate you have, encrypt the data between two endpoints, or maybe encrypt the document. And this is what we're going to be using digital certificate for. In order to obtain such a certificate, you can get one from your public key infrastructure, if you have one installed on your server, or you can go to the trust service provider, provide your real ID, identify yourself, and they're going to issue with the certificate that you can use for encryption. So with certificate security, you can encrypt the entire document. You can encrypt the document except the metadata if you want this document to be searchable on the internet, or you can encrypt only attachments. It is much more secure than password security because it cannot be brute force. The only way to crack the document that is encrypted with the certificate security is to get the physical access to the private key that is usually stored on the hard drive of the recipient, or maybe it is stored in the public key infrastructure that issue that certificate. So let me show you on the example how to apply this security. So here's the sample documents that I have, and I'm going to be securing this document with the certificate. So how to do that? Same story like with the password. You can find the right tool by searching for it in here, in the tools on the right hand side. You can go to the tools, find the appropriate one. So it's going to be again protect, or if you want, you can right click on this document, select document properties, and select the certificate security from here. Doesn't really matter how you're gonna get to this point. It's gonna all take you to the same place. So if I select the certificate security, it will ask me whether I want to encrypt all document content, except the metadata, or encrypt only file attachments. So I'm gonna encrypt everything. I'm gonna select the encryption algorithm, choose the strongest one, click on next, and here it is always advisable to add your digital ID as well. So you need to add your digital ID because if you encrypt it only with the public key of the recipient, you won't be able to access this document after that. So it's very important to include yourself in here. So in this case, I'm going to be adding only myself just to keep it simple. I'm going to click on OK, and here you will have the option to add the recipient's public key. So you can either search for that key in your public key infrastructure if you are connected to the LDAP. If your Acrobat is connected to the LDAP, you're going to be able to search for that recipient in here. So it's going to be for the internal recipient. Or you can browse and just find the public key that someone shared with you. So this is for the external recipients. You can just select this, click on open, and apply to this document. So I'm going to just keep it simple and encrypt it only with my certificate. And here you have the permissions. So you can restrict printing and editing, same like you could with the password. So you can select whether printing is allowed, So I'm going to allow only low resolution, and changes are allowed only commenting, filling in form fields, and signing existing signature field. Okay, I'm going to click on OK, click on Next, and click on Finished. So if I click on OK, click on Save, this document again will appear as a secured. So if I just quickly close this document and try to reopen it, so it will ask me to use my digital ID. So I'm gonna just click on OK, but in this case, my digital ID is additionally protected with the password. So no one will be able to open this document unless they have access to this certificate. And this certificate is stored on my hard drive. So if someone steals this document, they will never be able to decrypt it back. So when I click on OK, this document will open. So this is very similar to the password protection, but the difference is that it's much more stronger, virtually unbreakable. So if you have the infrastructure, most probably if you have the Active Directory, maybe you have already public key infrastructure, I do advise you to use it instead of the password protection, much more stronger. So next one on the list is reduction tool. So you might ask the question why this tool is on the list. It has nothing to do with the password. It's not an equivalent to the password. But there might be a situation where you cannot use the password. You can't use the certificate. You can use the password to limit who can open this document. Because, for instance, if you publish document online and a document that should be available to the wide public, how would you distribute the certificate or the password? In this case, you need to decide which information in this document can be shared with the others. And there might be a need to remove some sensitive information from those documents. And for that, you will be using the reduction tool. You can obviously redact the document manually. You can redact entire pages. You can use the search tool. So if you have a large document, you can search for the words that you want to redact from this document, and also you can use the pattern search. So pattern search is a very powerful tool that helps you to redact documents. So let's say that you have a document that contains data such as national insurance number, social security numbers, phone numbers, date of birth. So you know the format of this data, but you don't know exactly what that data is. So you don't know the national insurance number. For that, you can use this pattern search. You know that national insurance numbers is composed of 2 letters, 2 digits, 2 digits, 2 digits, and another 2 letters. You can create the pattern that will search the word that match it and redact it automatically. So you can redact entire documents very quickly. Also, the document might contain some sensitive data, some comments that someone placed in there when you are collaborating on this document, some bookmarks that you don't want to share with the others. And you can use sanitization for that. You can sanitize and remove this information automatically from those documents. Again, let me show you that on the example. So here's the sample document that I want to redact. So this document contains information such as date, phone number, address, and so on. So I can manually redact it. So I'm going to first find the tool, select redact text and images, click on redact text and images, and I can start manual reduction. So in order to select document for reduction, I can just simply select it like so, and it's going to be highlighted in red. So it is not redacted yet. It is just waiting to be redacted. I need to click on apply in order to remove this data permanently. But before I do that, let me show you how you can use the search and pattern search. So you need to click on that arrow pointing down, select find text and redact, click on OK, and here you have the search options. So you can search for single word or phrase, multiple words or phrase, or patterns. Patterns are the most powerful search in Adobe Acrobat Pro reduction tool. So if you go to the list here, you will see all the patterns that you have available. So you can search for the phone numbers, credit cards, social security numbers, email addresses, and dates. So if I click for that date, For example, if I click on for search and remove text, it will find all the dates in this document. All I need to do is just select the date that I want to remove, or maybe multiple dates, and then click on mark checked results for redaction. And all the dates in this document will be marked for redaction. I can come back to the search, select another pattern, maybe phone numbers, click on search and remove text again, and it will find all the phone numbers in this document. Again, I can select one or multiple phone numbers from this list and click mark checked results for redaction. So as you might see here, we have only few patterns, but if you want, you can add your custom pattern as well. It uses regex, regular expression, so you can just go to the configuration file and add the regular expression for your pattern search. So I'm gonna close that, click on apply, and I will see the information that those changes are permanent and I won't be able to retrieve the redacted information. And also there is an option to sanitize and remove hidden information. So if I want to find out what are those hidden information, I can click on that information icon here, and I will see that those hidden information are data such as embedded content, hidden layers, comments, obscure text, links, JavaScript, overlapping objects. So I do want to remove this hidden information, and I'm gonna click on continue. And now the redaction is applied. I just need to save the redacted document in the folder, click on yes, and this document has been redacted. All the data is removed permanently. There's no way to retrieve the data that I have just removed from this document. And why it is so important to use the right tool to do redaction. If you search on the internet, you will find most probably plenty of tools that are for free that will allow you to redact the documents, but not all of those documents remove the data completely. And it is very, very important to ensure that the data is erased from this document and it cannot be recovered. So if you search, if you Google BAT reduction examples, most probably you will get plenty of results. I did find quite interesting example on the internet. This is from the British Minister of the Defense. So British Minister of the Defense, they have a redacted document about security on the submarines. It was quite generic document, but also this document contains the information about the design of the nuclear reactor. They did redact this document using some free tool. It appeared to be redacted, and then they published this document online. But the thing is that whoever saw this document and whoever select the entire text in this PDF document and paste that, copy that and paste to another document, they can see all the data that was obscured by those black fields. So the data wasn't redacted, it was just obscured. So you need to make sure that you use the right tool to do the job. Consequences of not securing the data can be quite severe. According to the statistics, 1 in 8 of businesses is destroyed because of the data leak. And you might think that it doesn't affect me because I have never allowed any data to leak out, and also most probably no one will find out if such a thing happened. But you need to remember that we live in a world of internet, and if any of your customers suspect or discover that you don't care about the data, most probably they're gonna post it on the social media or maybe on the sites such as Trustpilot. So your potential client looking for information about your company, when they Google you, most probably they will find this information and this might decide not to do a business with you. So now let's take a step back and think about the documents that you sent to someone and also all documents that you received in your mailbox. And most probably when you send a financial report, you don't send it in JPEG format, you send it in PDF format because we love and use PDF documents quite a lot. Only last year, over 250 billions of PDF documents were opened in Adobe products, and I'm talking about Adobe. There are other vendors that open PDF documents as well, and this number is much higher. And over 40% of all the documents that you receive in your Outlook are in PDF format as well. We know about that because we have a strategic partnership with Microsoft. So the risk of the data breach, or in other words, the number of PDFs that you can secure, the number of the documents that you can secure with security in Adobe Acrobat Pro is quite high. So it is very important to remember about that as well. So we have already discussed password protection, certificate security, and reduction tool. So this is how you protect the data that you create and share with the others. But what about protecting yourself against the threat that can be smuggled to your laptop, to your hard drive, inside of the PDF documents that you receive from the others? Just remember the last slide. Over 40% of all the documents that you receive on your mailbox are in PDF format. As you might remember from the beginning of this presentation, PDF documents is like a container, so it can store some other formats. So if someone sends you a PDF document, they can include inside audio, video, interactive content, 3D animation, forms, and the JavaScripts as well. And because of that richness that can be included inside of the PDF, someone can potentially put in there some malicious code to infect your computer or maybe steal the data. So you need to know how to protect against that as well. To protect you against such a threats that you can receive in the PDF documents from the others, in Adobe Acrobat Pro, we have the feature that is called Protected View and Enhanced Security Settings. So Protected View is basically a sandbox restricted mode. So when you open a document, PDF document that is not from the trusted source, it's going to block every interactive content and JavaScript and whatever is there running under the bonnet of the PDF. And you're going to be given a choice to enable everything or not. And when you do enable that, enhanced security settings will warn you about any suspicious activity. So if this PDF will try to make the connection with the external server and maybe send the data outside of your hard drive somewhere, or maybe run the JavaScript, you will see the notification and you're going to be given a choice to allow this to happen or not. So now let me show you how to enable this mode on your PDF documents so you can be protected against the threats that can be smuggled inside of the PDF documents. So here I have some sample documents with some interactive content played out. So this is a 360 view of one of the places in London called Little Venice, and on the bottom here you can see that there is a geographical location, geolocation calculated in real time. So you can see at which direction you are looking right now at that particular moment. So I can assume that there is some kind of a JavaScript running in the background maybe. But the bad thing is that you don't know what else is running in that PDF document. I've just received this document from someone. I can see it is interactive, so it might be quite complex. So there might be a JavaScript, another JavaScript running that connects to my hard drive and maybe send the confidential data elsewhere. So in order to protect myself from such threats, I need to enable protected view and enhance security. So in order to do so, I need to go to the edit, click on Preferences, go to the Security Enhanced, select Enable Protect Mode at Startup, select Protected View for all files, and below I have option to enable Enhanced Security. So I'm going to enable that as well. So now when this document open, it will open in the sandbox mode. And this image will be blocked. I won't be able to see it. And I will have the option to select whether I want to play that or not. And also if this document will connect to any other place or maybe run some JavaScript in the background, I will know about that because of enable enhanced security settings that I have in here. Here is the place where you can add files to the trusted files. So if I know these files can be trusted, I can add this in here, or I can add the folder path, or I can go even further and add the host. So if I receive this email from that host, it's going to be trusted and it won't trigger the sandbox protection nor enhance security. So I'm going to just leave it as it is with only sandbox protection enabled and enhanced security. Click on OK. close this PDF document and open this once again. So it is opening on my other screen. Just let me drag it and drop. Okay, so here is this document. So like you see, all the interactive content has been disabled because this document is not from the trusted source. And here in the option, I can choose to trust this document one time only or always trust this document. And since I know who sent this document to me, I know that there is no malicious code in this PDF document, so I can select trust this document always. So now we kind of switch off the sandbox, but the enhanced security is still working. So if this document still made some connection somewhere, I should be able to see that. So now if I want to play that 3D content, I can just click on that 3D, wait a few seconds, and it's going to activate that image. So now this document is trusted, and everything that is included in this document is allowed to execute. So that's about the protected view and enhanced security settings. So this document obviously doesn't make any connection, so it doesn't trigger enhanced security settings, but if it was, I would see the warning on the screen right now. So we have only 5 minutes left of this webinar, which is actually quite good because the next topic that I'm going to cover is automation. So I'm going to prove to you that everything that you learned over the last 40 minutes can be applied to the PDF documents with literally 1 or 3 clicks. The most time-consuming part of this exercise is setting up the policy, but once you've got this policy set up, you can just point it at a document or location where you have all those documents stored and apply all those settings to all those documents automatically. So let me show a sample document and I will show you how to use the action wizard. So here's my sample PDF document. So what I'm going to be doing with this document, I will apply an action that will automatically redact this document, remove the surname of the person that appears on the tax return, sanitize this document so I won't share any information accidentally with the others, any information that might be embedded in this document, and also I will apply certificate security on top of that. So how to do that? So first of all, I need to find the tool. So this tool is called Action Wizard. Click on New Action, go to the Protection. So I'm going to be removing the surname, Smith. So I'm going to select Search and Remove Text. Click on Specify Settings, type in here the surname. Click on Add, click on OK. And then I will apply reduction for that word that I've just found. And I will sanitize this document as well. And I will encrypt this document with my certificate. So I'm going to just select my certificate, select the security method first, click on Next, select my certificate, click on Next, click on Finish, click on Close, and I'm going to be saving this document obviously as well. So I'm going to add Save in here, maybe add the secured in front of the name of this document. Click on OK, click on Save, and I will give this action a name. Click on Save, and this action is available on the right hand side in here. So what I can do now, I can run it against this document, but what is more important, instead of running this action against one document, I can run it against the location. So if I have all my documents stored in one place, let's say you have the repository with the 1,000 of the PDF documents, you can secure them with one click by running this action. So in this case, I'm going to be running this only against this document. So I'm going to click Start. And like you see, this document has been redacted. The name Smith disappeared from this document, and also it is secure with the certificate. So if I go to the document properties, I can see that the certificate security has been applied. So it took literally a few seconds, including setting up the policy. So you can speed up this process of securing your PDF documents immensely. Let's have a quick look at the slides before we move forward. We have the whole host of key integrations with Microsoft. So if you have already invested in Microsoft, you can have Adobe Acrobat Pro integrated with those applications listed in here. So you can have Adobe Acrobat in Teams, Word, PowerPoint, Outlook, Dynamics, and start using Adobe Acrobat and switch seamlessly between those two applications as you wish. The last security-related topic that I wanted to discuss with you is Microsoft information protection. This is because most probably you have already invested in Microsoft software, and also because we have strategic partnership with Microsoft, and we do encourage our customer to use that security method as well. You can enable Microsoft information protection inside of your PDF and start using that straight away. So if you have security label configured on your server, you can apply those to the documents, PDF documents. So let me show you how to do that. So here we have yet another PDF document, and we're going to be securing this document with Microsoft Information Protection. So I can either go to the tools in here, search for the protect, or I can search for this tool in here, or I can just right click on this document, go to document properties and choose the security method from this list in here. So I'm going to choose Microsoft Information Protection. And because I am already connected to my Microsoft server, it's going to retrieve all the security labels that are stored in there. So I'm going to search for the label that I want to apply to this document, click on apply, and within a few seconds, this document will be secure with Microsoft Information Protection. So like you see in the name, in the brackets, I can see that this document is secured and the label is applied. So if I go to the document properties, I will see that Microsoft Information Protection is applied. So if I send this document to someone outside of my organization or within my organization, this person will be asked to authenticate you against your Active Directory, and based on the permission that person has set up in there, this person will be able to open this document or not. We have almost reached the end of the webinar today. So the last thing that is left for me to do is to encourage you to ask yourself a question whether the PDF solution that you have already, or maybe the PDF solution in which you are planning to invest, is scalable, whether it can be integrated with some other platforms such as Microsoft, Salesforce, Workday, SAP, and many others, and whether this solution can be automated, whether it's got automation capabilities built in. And also, if you are taking security seriously, please do get in touch with us, speak with us, one of the solution consultants. We can advise you based on your requirements. Also, there is a possibility to request a free 7 days trial for Adobe Acrobat Pro, so you can play with all those settings that I have shown you today on this webinar. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Now is the time to answer the questions that you place in Q&A section during this webinar. Thank you and speak to you soon.